Hello and welcome to Boomer Live. Today we are here to talk about an interesting decision which was made by Kylian Mbappe just a couple of days ago. So I have a Madrid fan and Abhishek and a PSG fan in part to let them know their opinion on what has really happened. I'll get to Parth first up on this decision because Mbappe has really played with Madrid at this very point, right? I want to know from a PSG fan's perspective, are you really happy with this decision or are you like, okay, you just played with your club to get more money?
No, I mean that is one of the points for sure. I mean, as an Mbappe is really smart for a lad like him. See, he's a poster boy, right? I mean,
Yeah,
he's not designed to be a poster boy, but like the things that he has done, like from over a decade, it's really interesting to see him
yeah,
play with such a big club that is Real Madrid. I mean, it's not a small club,
yeah.
and to get PSG to actually give him a race and playing this entire game, I feel pity for Real Madrid. I mean, yeah, see, at the end of the day, I like the decision that he has made. Maybe if what so in my opinion, this is my opinion, if he would have just elongated this process a little bit more, saying that he would have signed the contract in Jan or Feb or something later this year, I think he would have managed to top up 50 more million. I think so. I don't know. Rest Abhishek, let me know how you're feeling right now.
Yeah,
I don't
Abhishek, I
think
want
you're
to
feeling very
come
good.
to you because Kylian Mbappe has always shown his interest towards Real Madrid because he idolizes Cristiano. He wants to play in the Bernabeu. You saw even the chants were even put out, of Mbappe in the last league game of Madrid. They really want Mbappe there. Fiorentina Perez was so confident that he's going to bring him. You reckon at this point you feel cheated? It's like the girl saying, "No, I love you, but just as a friend."
Oh shit. That's hurt.
Yeah, it's true, man. This is dhoka at the highest level. It's like the first of all, this transfer saga has been like uh, it's very. I've had it up till here, and to end it on this note is even worse, because he's not coming to Madrid, and he said no to Madrid. Like imagine a player a club that has been chasing a player for so long and
Hmm.
and finally saying no to that club and a club as big as Madrid, like that's a big sense of betrayal and extremely disappointed as well. And
Yeah,
what's worse is Madrid could have gone for Erling Haaland as well, who was just available for 65 million. That is peanuts in compared to what Madrid and PSG were offering to Mbappe.
right.
And and in going only for Mbappe, they ended up losing both of them. There is no situation out of this. There is no like good news for Madrid out of this. Like except the fact that the saga is finally over. He's decided that he is not coming to Madrid, and it's going to take a while to digest the fact that he's not coming to Madrid. Player of that stardom level has said no to
Yeah.
Madrid. It's going to take a while, but it's finally happened. So I'm in a way I'm glad that it's finally over. Like it's not prolonged anymore.
But
But
also again, just to add here, what you said, Abhishek, was that see, I mean, they had to go for both the players. I mean, they could have landed at least Haaland, and then honestly, right now Real Madrid has only two key players, that is Modric and Benzema. Benzema has been on a god level. I don't know what he's doing, but he's been on a god level since he's playing. And I mean, see, there's not a lot of scope for Madrid until unless Ronaldo was there. There was like, okay, there's Ronaldo,
yeah,
there's Benzema, there's Modric,
yeah.
there's like so many players. If, even the defense line was amazing. But right now, I mean, this was a grave mistake. What Real Madrid did over here. I mean, if they could have just managed to at least land one of the players, it would have been a great decision for Real Madrid.
I mean,
Yeah, that's
that's usually historically as well, right? Since Fiorentina Perez has taken over, I remember his first ever press conference when he took over as president. He told he'd bring Luis Figo from Barcelona. He did it. And then he brought the
Yeah.
Galacticos. Then he brought Cristiano Ronaldo from Manchester United. This was the summer for Kylian Mbappe to bring. Summer of 22 was all about Kylian Mbappe. But at this point, I want to get to Path. I want to know Abhishek's opinion as well. 500 million on this guy, half a billion for this guy to be at the club. Now he's going to be taking decisions on the managers who's going to be appointed. He's going to be making decisions on the signings. He's literally the sporting director of the club. can you believe a 23-year-old being appointed and given so much of power? Tell me about that
See,
part.
that is the thing, right? I mean, as I told you, he's not designed to be a poster boy, but all the things that he has done for PSG, playing in such a small age, he's playing with Messi and with Neymar on the same level in the same team. That's a great achievement to have in its own. But like again, I mean, 500 million. I don't think that's the appropriate amount of pricing for him. In terms of, see, I mean, he's a
Thank you.
great player and all. I mean, I support PSG from my heart. It's not that I don't, but if that position was given to Mbappe, if it was given to Neymar or someone, I mean that would have
Yeah,
made more sense because they have more gameplay knowledge, they have more experience than Mbappe for say. As in, Mbappe has been there for a long time, but he's not been
yeah,
in PSG for that long. It's
yeah,
only that he gained all of his stardom just by playing for PSG. I mean, if he would have
yeah,
just been in some minor leagues right now, nobody would have even noticed the speed that he has. For
yeah.
me, 500 million is a lot for a player like Mbappe. He's not a
Absolutely.
playmaker. I can say he's a good player, but not a playmaker. As in, like Messi is a playmaker. Neymar is a
Mm.
playmaker. I mean, you need to have someone who can make that entire game and score a goal which nobody can even imagine. That's not Mbappe. Mbappe, of course, as you said, he idolizes Ronaldo for sure, and that is why he wanted to go to Real Madrid. But this again, that money factor when it comes in, he got to know, okay, if I just prolong this for a little bit more time and PSG is going to offer me more money, why don't I do that? But that's
Yeah.
like betraying your own club. That's what I feel.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If he decides to retire at this very point, start his own club, he's got the money to do it. He can start his own bloody club anywhere in the world, and he can possibly run it called Kyian Mbappe FC or whatever. Abhishek, coming to you on
Exactly.
the similar lanes, let me know your thoughts on that 500 million deal. And at the same time, do you reckon there's a government intervention at this very point from Qatar and also from France because they want him as a poster boy of French football, not just the French league. League on is there, but then they want him as a poster boy of Qatar's World Cup, which is going to be taking place later this year, and also an icon of French football for the years to come, isn't it?
But it's, I mean, almost all the credible news outlets have been reporting this that, Emmanuel Macron, the French president, he himself got in touch with Mbappe to, try to convince him to stay back to, because they have plans for him for the long run because
Yeah,
2026 Olympics is going to be held in France. They want to make him the poster boy, like, poster boy of the country, like, and the French national team participating in the Olympics football as well. So I think they're going for the long game. But then again, Mbappe is just 23, and he's by the time his PSG contract
yeah,
expires in 2026, he's going to be 26. He's going to be 2025. He's going to be 20. He's going to be just 26. And
yeah,
like there's no guarantee because by that time he would have earned like way beyond his dream amount, and there's no guarantee that he's going to stay even after that. So, like you asked me, and going along the lines of what Parth said, the PSG have, laid out all the chips on the table just for this
yeah,
one 23-year-old youngster, and
yeah,
put out all like supposedly made him the sporting director. I feel that's no way to run a club because that's why the saying of no player is bigger than a club goes
yeah,
down the drain, right? Because
absolutely.
they have apparently given him so much power, like he has the decision to like the players that he does not like, he can tell them that he can tell the management I don't want to play with them, or even he's being
Yeah,
made the sporting director. Now that amount of power for a player, let alone a 23-year-old player, young player, I don't even know. He realizes the scope of the power that he has got. So
yeah,
like that, and footballing wise as well, that sets a very dangerous precedent because something
yeah,
like this has been done, and this opens a lot of avenue for future transfers just like this. A player of
absolutely.
Mbappe's caliber to be given this amount of importance by these big, huge European clubs, that sets a very dangerous precedent for in the world of football, and it's not a very good one. I would say it's not a very welcoming one because you're literally prioritizing a player over a whole club worth billions and billions of dollars. Like,
Right.
Again,
Again,
here I would
excellent
like
point.
to really add, I mean, with just in line with what Abhishek is saying, here with great power comes great responsibility, right? So what I feel is here is a turning point. It's either Mbappe's game is going to go to trash because he is a sporting director now and he has to look into that aspect as well. As in, we have seen, see, everyone is not an MS Dhoni or someone, right? We have seen with Virat Kohli happening that once he is the captain of the team, he is not able to perform. His form is gone so bad, and it same goes for Mbappe. I mean, if he continues to be sporting director for 3 years, who knows? Maybe he won't even be able to score as many goals as he can right now. Even with his prime, he doesn't have that much of knowledge in terms of how a sporting director is. Usually sporting directors are like what, more than like above 30 or something. He's just 23, and as Abhishek said, by the Olympic he'll be 26, and who knows, he might refuse French to be a poster boy at that time, and he'll just
I mean,
jump the club.
absolutely. True. I mean, right now that precedent point is so accurate. Tomorrow, a Pedri, probably a Florian Wirtz, around these two are the two youngsters who are making all the noise around the leagues in Europe as well. They can come out saying that, see, we want a contract like this, or we won't stay in the club. Even after this, let's talk about Mbappe's expectations after this, right? He wants to possibly continue in PSG, and I am sure that none of the clubs will be able to even afford him from here on. How will
Yeah.
every club
Exactly.
pay 500 million to him? And I want to ask you, Abhishek, will you take Mbappe back at Madrid after this?
No, with all my heart. I'm saying this with the utmost conviction. No, like I have had, that guy has put a dent in, like, in the hearts of, Madridistas' egos, and like, I'm sure, like, even Madrid as a club will not accept him back, because a club with so much pride, let alone the history, like,
Yeah.
and a player like that has said no to him, despite the fact that a club like Madrid has pursued a player like that for so many years, not just 1 year, 2 years, more than 4 years.
Mm,
And
mm.
then, if given the opportunity back, like, yeah, I wouldn't want him back. No,
And
I wouldn't want him back. No.
that's a very good one.
I
And
mean,
just
Mbappe, I don't think he might even want to go back to Real Madrid now that he's put a dent. And it's also about the trust level, right? I mean, even if, so hypothetically, even if Real Madrid tells him, "Okay, okay, I'll take you to Real Madrid," but even the players over there, they're not going to trust him. It's
yeah,
just going to be a
Even the
big
fans,
conflict.
true, even
yeah,
the fans, like,
yeah.
what's worse is, like, what's worse is where during the Chelsea match, during the Chelsea Champions League semi-finals, people, like, some faction, more like, the Madrid faction, the fan base, they are so fickle minded, and, like, because we don't support our own players like Isco and Bale, and we are chanting for a player who has not yet joined our club, and
Exactly.
to know that that player has said no in the end, despite all that, that's a worse, like, dhoka. That's a bigger dhoka, I feel. Like, that's a bigger dhabba on the Madrid fan base and the Madrid club as well.
I
It's
mean,
even
yeah,
the betrayal, right? I mean, it all comes down to the fans. I mean, today they're cheering for an Mbappe who's not even on the team. Tomorrow he comes in the team
yeah.
and they'll be cheering for Ronaldo. I mean,
True. I mean, at this very point, Mbappe will look like he has betrayed that royal badge of Madrid, because that's why even Karim Benzema posted a cryptic Instagram story pointing out at the badge and also showing out the betrayal. So it just connects so well. But Pat, I want to ask you: if Mbappe leads PSG to the maiden ever UCL title, will he be possibly celebrated as the greatest ever PSG player? Because this all things can be redeemed if he wins that maiden UCL title, and he can say that, see, I stayed and I made PSG what they are today. Because if he goes to Madrid, he'll possibly win their 15th UCL or their 14th UCL. He'll be one among the greatest of that
yeah, he
particular
can
era.
he can be one amongst the greatest, but I mean, I wouldn't say the greatest because I mean we have seen Zlatan playing for PSG. I mean, he is no joke right now.
But
I
yeah,
mean,
that's my point, right? Zlatan never won a UCL, neither did any of
exactly.
these players. But if Mbappe wins you, he will be remembered for that. Right? Maiden
Yes.
ever UCL. That's why people in Madrid remember Alfred Di Stefano for the same reason.
Exactly, and then he'll be considered like the alpha who just came and bragged a lot, and then he actually did something at the end of the day, and that is why PSG is where he is right now. So I mean, if that can happen, I mean, I would be, of course, I would be happy. I'm a PSG fan, but remember, telling him the greatest of all time would not be the appropriate how do I say it? The amount of respect that he might pursue after winning the UCL might be huge. But again, the same thing, people will look back to him as a betrayer. Not PSG fans, but again the other clubs. And
Yeah,
now, for a fact, I think I don't see any other club taking him, because 500 million is not a less amount.
and I bet he
Also,
wouldn't want to
you
put it.
you
Yeah,
brought out an interesting point, Abel. Like you said, right? He'll be the greatest of that club. It brought me back to like the Coutinho transfer to Barcelona. When Jurgen Klopp told Coutinho that if you go to Barcelona, you'll just be one among the 11 players there. While if you are at Liverpool, you'll be the one. Like
yeah,
they'll make a statue of you if you stay here. Like
yeah,
that's a possible scenario for Mbappe as well, because he's comfortable with the French league. He's comfortable with the PSG management. He's been knocking goals, knocking assists, top goal scorer, top assister this season. He's been extremely comfortable and extremely potent as well with PSG in the
yeah,
French league. So he definitely, like irrespective of if he's been made the what apparently the sporting director, let alone leave that, but the amount of money that has been invested on him, like 500 million, is what these media outlets are telling. If that is true, then that also can have an effect on his mental psyche, because that could hold a huge sword on his head, right? Because these guys invested so much money on me. Like, what if I don't succeed? That could also be a thought process in his mind. So
So
yeah.
much of pressure, right? I mean,
yeah, he could go on to become the greatest PSG player, or after this transfer, or go on to become like one of PSG's biggest flops.
yeah,
It's on the extreme ends. There is no in
But
between with
but
Mbappe,
we
actually.
are talking about Mbappe in the same paradigm as a Cristiano, from a Messi's point of view, from one of those generational talents, right? You are comparing Mbappe and Haaland as a generational talent. So I
Right.
don't think the Mbappe will have that flop show, at least in the French league, maybe in UCL. That's where the
Prob.
pressure will be on him. That's where the eyes will be on him. That's where the hopes and expectation of the entire city will be upon him as well.
I
Having said
agree.
that,
Yeah.
thank you both for joining. It was pleasure talking to you, knowing your fans' emotion, knowing from a practical perspective, because that's what everybody wants to know, what it is, what is the transfer saga all about at this very point. And do guys, do remember to play the fantasy contest with Boom 11, because the Champions League is just 1 week away and Real Madrid are taking on Liverpool. Can Real Madrid get their 14th title? Abhishek will be saying yes, and Liverpool fans and all the scousers will be saying no. Let's see if that happens, because Liverpool has had a huge dent on their Premier League hopes last night by the City. So let's see, and do remember to share this video, show some love on this, so that we can bring you more of these contents in the coming days. And also, in a couple of minutes time, or in a few minutes time, we are going to be going live again for the IPL review. So join us for that as well. Stay tuned for that. Thank you. Have a good time, guys.